All right, West Coast. I'm sitting quite fittingly in the library in Tofino, caught up with Chris Lowther, and we'll be talking about her writing and a new book, Half-Blood Poems, which inspired, not surprisingly, by J.K. Rowling's character in the world of Harry Potter. So first off, thanks for joining us, Chris, and why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself as a writer and your life here on the West Coast for people that might not be familiar with you out here in these parts.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Good to be here. By the way, it's rolling, rhymes with bowling. Not Rowling.
Rowling? Oh, there you go.
Now you know. I've been in Tofino 19 years. Last October, I had a book come out, My Nature.
Mm-hmm. We had a fun reading with that one, I remember.
Yes, we did. And then the book that came out before that was Writing the West Coast, In Love with Place. And then I had another poetry book called New Power, came out way back in 1999.
Okay, but those two recent ones seem to be kind of dedicated more to this world right here that you lived in, and this is a bit of a departure.
Yeah, Half-Blood Poems was totally inspired by the Harry Potter novels and the movies.
What made you, of all the great movies and books out there, I know you're a reader, we're here in the library, what made you specifically that inspired by the Harry Potter world to write a whole book of poetry about it?
I'm a huge fan. I've read the books way too many times. I've seen the movies way too many times, bought too many DVDs. I bond with my nephew over them. They just really rang true for me, and I was inspired. And the last book of poems I wrote, Harry Potter references kept intruding into the poems, and I couldn't quell them. And so suddenly I had this crazy thought, why don't I just give full rein to this and go crazy? No more guilty geekdom, just full-on geek. And then my second thought was, I will never find a publisher in Canada because in this country we take poetry way too seriously. But I knew of a publisher in the States that does Harry Potter books. They are usually books of essays, though. Yeah. And that was his first main concern was, ooh, poetry, I don't know about that. But then I sent him some samples, and he said, yeah, bring it on.
Can we digress for a minute? Publishing a book of Harry Potter essays, so like character studies, is that sort of thing what they usually do?
Oh, so you have no idea. There is so much out there. It's insane. Academia, like... there are so many books. I've even got one on me called Repotting Harry Potter. That one's not academic. That one's for everyone. But there's one called The Deathly Hallows Lectures. There's one called Harry Potter for Nerds. It's full of essays by all these different people. Yeah.
So it's people going after Harry Potter like we would have in high school or college when we had to do like a novel study.
Yeah. Because even say Buffy the Vampire Slayer, something pop culture. I mean, that, I used to be really into, okay, I still watch it every night. But there are lots of books of essays on that, and all that is a TV show. Yeah. You know, these are novels. And J.K. Rowling is actually extremely intelligent, and she spent more time planning the novels than actually writing them. I think why I was so drawn to Harry Potter is because, is what I used to say to my friends, why am I so into Harry Potter? I am Harry Potter. I would say, I am Harry Potter. And they would be like, what?
Yeah, that beleaguers a little explanation, I think.
Yeah. I know I'm not the only person by far to ever feel akin to him. But he lost his parents from murder. I lost my parents from murder. He got a scar on his forehead. I very quickly acquired a scar on my forehead. It's very hard to see at this point. And I got it very soon after. And it was sort of because of the murder as well. And, I don't know, I had to go and stay with my reluctant relatives who were often trying to get me to be more grateful. So just like the Dursleys with Harry Potter. And I wasn't crazy about summer holidays. I was more comfortable at school than at home eventually, just like Harry and Hogwarts. And it goes on and on and on. Even the Ike tree and the Whomping Willow, there are similarities. So.
Is there a particular angle that you used to kind of decipher your ideas on Harry Potter?
This was an entirely organic experience. At first I was quite blocked after the first couple of poems, and then they just started coming out like they do, and they always were a surprise. And very healing and very emotional. Most of them are completely random. Some are switching back and forth constantly between Harry's voice and my voice. There are some poems in voices of other characters, Hermione, Ginny, and Neville, and some are tribute poems. It's not just for young people, just like the novels themselves aren't just for young people. They're for everybody, anyone who likes poetry, has been through crap when they were young, and looking for some healing vibe, and also for, Rowling fans as well.
Yeah. Well, Chris, we have a copy of the book sitting here on the table, and I thought, since it's all set up for you to kind of find certain pages they're reading in particular that you might want to share with people to give them an idea of what's going on in the book.
Sure. I can read one of the tribute poems to our beloved Neville Longbottom, who everyone loves. It's called Longbottom Leaf, which is a title that actually is a tip of the hat to Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you picked up on that.
I recognize that, but I wasn't sure. I might have missed some Harry Potterism that had Longbottom Leaf in it, too.
No. But do you know the spell to conjure a bouquet of flowers?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, most people probably forget that. The spell to conjure a bouquet of flowers is orchideous, and so I just thought I should tell people because it appears in the poem. Okay, Longbottom Leaf. He likes to tell his students there is no hideous in orchideous. They laugh and conjure bouquets, ask about the old days, beg to see his DA coins. He doesn't like to talk about what it felt like under the burning hat, how he sliced off the snake's head with Gryffindor's sudden sword, how heavy were the bodies he carried, how many of his friends died. When they ask him what kind of scholar he was, he assures them, the worst. I was forgetful, a klutz, slow and untalented, besotted by plants. They want to know, naturally, how such a student became a teacher. The other professors say he reached a certain point and visibly hardened, birthed an unequaled determination, that a strange light glowed in his eyes, that these changes made for a beautiful thing to behold, that Neville, a most unremarkable child, in his striving revealed his nobility. The professor himself has quietly offered that it was revenge at first, stubborn, sweaty, hard work, relentless repetition slow to reward, that his passion and practice were in tribute to his parents. With a mass escape from Azkaban, this work became preparation. As a bonus, it got the grandmother off his case. He does not speak of bringing Greyback down. His daily reward lies in watching pupils' hard work pay off. Professor Longbottom is too modest to say it. This plain boy became a great wizard, one who killed anger, guided love to father his every action.
Groovy. I always think it's strange not to have a round of applause button or something when I'm doing
Those
this.
you know what? People who are really into Harry Potter will get a lot out of that because every other word is loaded with meaning from, the meaning that you find in the stories. Okay, so the reason Harry Potter fans do not need to despair is because we have Pottermore. And that is this new website that J.K. Rowling has set up. And it's opening up to everyone in October. It's not only a game. Okay, it's got game elements, but it has other stuff, and it's free. And what's really exciting is that it's more to read because she's added background to all the characters, which is really exciting for us because it's very rare that you find J.K. Rowling words that you haven't already read 100 times. And we like her writing.
Cool. And we like your writing, Chris.
Oh, thanks.
So pick up the book at the...
So the book is available at Mermaid Tales. Mermaid Tales is the only bookstore on planet Earth where you can get this book. The only other place you can get it is online at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, because it was that kind of publisher, an online publisher.
The book in question is Half-Blood Poems, the author Chris Lowther, and you can pick it up locally at Mermaid Tales Bookshop.